6 families that rule the world that you may not have realized. If you've lived in your neighborhood long enough, you may have known the respectful families that most citizens would know. It may be because they are quite active in all of the movements in the community, they are the richest in the region, or simply they have done something that makes their name stick in everyone's mind. You may not have realized it, but they have become a big, if not the biggest part of your community. They get a say in what's best for the majority, but in this video, we will be talking about the powerful families that you may have realized but are ruling the world in secret. Oh yeah, that's quite possible. Join us at Money Buys Happiness as we talk about the 6 families that rule the world and you may not have realized. In what way and how is that possible? Well, watch this video until the end to know more. Without further ado, let's start. Number 1. J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan is one of the most well-known billionaires. He was widely regarded as one of the most powerful bankers of his era until he died in 1913. However, riches alone will not get you on our list, since J.P. Morgan was so much more than that. Mr. Morgan played a key role in the formation and financing of various industry behemoths, including U.S. Steel, General Electric, and a slew of railroads. Although Morgan's father was also a wealthy banker, it wasn't until 1871 when he formed J.P. Morgan & Company with another renowned banker from Philadelphia named Anthony Drexel that Morgan began to acquire a large fortune for himself. After all, this business laid the groundwork for what would become J.P. Morgan Chase. Morgan was a business genius who utilized his enormous power to assist in calming the American financial markets during his time's economic woes. He earned an astounding wealth of $25 billion, which he used to sway the system in his favor. Morgan was able to utilize his enormous wealth to sway the system in his favor. It is widely recorded that Morgan's enemies were eager to point out exactly how much power he possessed, claiming that he was manipulating the U.S. financial system to benefit himself. His most renowned achievement was arguably his ability to stabilize the economy during the 1907 crisis. And let's not forget, there was a time when he preserved America's gold standard by lending the federal government $60 million. To be honest, they most likely had a point. Do you recall him mentioning that he gave railroad financing? Brilliantly, he did it so frequently and so well that by the 19th century, Morgan had become so involved in merging or failing railroads that he controlled an estimated 1/6 of all railways in America. This was all because he performed that specific thing so frequently and so brilliantly. That's right, one person controlled 1/6 of the world's railroads. Furthermore, U.S. Representative Arsen Pujo, who was conducting an inquiry into major Wall Streeters accused of attempting to dominate the American financial sector, wanted him to testify during the probe. These hearings resulted in the formation of a somewhat obscure entity known as the Federal Reserve, which you may be acquainted with. If you still don't believe Morgan has power, you've likely lost sight of what power involves. Are you convinced that they should be on the list? Indeed, they have done significant things that make them the first item on the list. Are you convinced that they are powerful enough to be part of the list? Let us know by leaving a comment below, and if you're liking where the video is heading, then give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you wish to watch more videos like this one. Speaking of families that are secretly ruling the world, that, folks, is just the beginning. Continue watching the video to discover the other most powerful families that are ruling the world in secret. So let's get rolling. Number 2, the Koch family. Not to be confused with Coca-Cola, the Koch family deserves a spot on our list. This is not to argue that Coca-Cola isn't unique in its own way. All they have to do is threaten to hold the production of everyone's favorite caffeinated beverage and caffeine addicts will revolt, but we were talking about Koch. As in the Koch brothers and their massive corporation, Koch Industries. Consider Koch Industries the second largest privately owned corporation in the United States to get a sense of the gravity of the situation at hand. Every year, they bring in a stunning $110 billion. Fred Koch founded Koch Industries in 1940, and it was held for many years by Fred Koch's 2 sons, David and Charles Koch, also known as the Koch brothers. Although David, who died a year ago at the age of 79, resigned from his position in 2018 due to health issues, his brother Charles, who is now 84 years old, remains the company's CEO to this day. What is the significance of the Koch family's power? Now, as a consequence of some rather savvy transactions, such as the purchase of Georgia Pacific for $22.5 billion in 2005, the money you spend on the commodities you need in your daily life may very well be going right into the Koch brothers' pockets. Dixie cups, quilted Northern paper towels, and Brawny paper towels are just a few of the Koch brands. However, this is not an entire list. In 2012, they paid $7.5 billion for the purchase of Molex, a manufacturer of electrical components, and in 2014, they paid $3 billion for the acquisition of Flint Group, a manufacturer of printing ink, in collaboration with Goldman Sachs. The Koch brothers are well known for donating hundreds of millions of dollars to conservative politicians. These are politicians who advocate for lowering the size and scope of government, supporting free trade and free markets, reducing the amount of regulation put on companies, and adopting a more lenient immigration policy. In this conversation, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. These individuals have the financial means to symbolically and literally influence the course of the United States of America. Number 3. The Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are believed to be worth $400 billion. Allow yourself a few moments to assimilate the facts. They are together valued at $400 billion. That's all we have to say. They founded a banking dynasty in the 1800s, which became the basis of their enormous wealth. Hey, do you believe there is a link between all these distinct banking families? Perhaps you have a better notion of the type of job that might be a good fit for you right now. This empire's dominion included cities like Paris, Naples, London, and Vienna. The Rothschilds are one of the wealthiest and most influential families in history. Nevertheless, their influence is significantly reduced than it was in the past decades, owing mostly to the fact that their vast fortune has been split among family members. The Rothschild family is still active in several businesses today, including mining, financial services, agriculture, winemaking, and real estate. Some of the huge homes and lavish estates that they erected throughout Europe may still be seen today, almost as a permanent reminder of their incredible fortune. To put $400 billion into perspective, when their wealth is adjusted for inflation, no one on the planet has yet surpassed their personal fortune. In fact, even if you combined up the fortunes of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk, you wouldn't come close to equaling that of the Rothschilds. They have attained the zenith of financial achievement that anyone may achieve. Number 4. The Kardashians. The Kardashians are one of the most well-known fan bases. They have emerged as one of the world's most powerful, well-known, and wealthy families. Kim Kardashian is widely credited with turning her television reality show into an international company. She is currently the star of many mobile games, the owner of her own cosmetics brands, and most recently, the founder of her own shapewear firm. Her success in the beauty sector has catapulted her to the top of the financial pyramid. KKW Beauty, her cosmetics company with a $1 billion market value, generated $100 million in revenue in 2019. There seemed to be no way to stop this family. Kim married Kanye West, a celebrity. West is worth a huge $1.3 billion on his own. Her younger half-sister Kylie is also worth a stunning $1 billion, and Khloe, it is estimated that she is worth $40 million. And you can see where this is going. They are wealthy, and their lifestyle reflects this. Kim spends an average of $168,880 every month on her looks, and she and her husband Kanye recently purchased a $16 million home in Cody, Wyoming. Kanye made a point meeting the mayor when they moved into their new house. Number 5. The Bush family. You may be familiar with a family that has had several members serve as President of the United States. One is a vice president, another is a television star, and yet another is a Supreme Court justice. But truly, this family has considerable authority, which is likely due to their net worth of more than $400 million. Yes, they are part of our list to be the top families that are secretly ruling the world. The Bush family is the same family as former President George W. Bush, the inspiration of Green Day's punk rock opera masterwork, American Idiot. But truly, this family has considerable power. How did they get such a significant quantity of money? Remember that George H. Bush was President of the United States, which should serve as more proof that power and influence run deep in the Bush family and have been passed down through 3 generations. Well, many members of their families have been successful bankers and merchants for 3 generations. When his brother George W. Bush was President of the United States, Billy Bush hosted Access Hollywood. Do you have no recollection of Billy? We're sure you do. You simply forgot. After all, the infamous tapes of a secret obscene conversation between Donald Trump and Billy Bush made headlines in 2016, and it resulted in Billy Bush being fired from Access Hollywood as a result. Nonetheless, you shouldn't allow this to make you feel too awful. He is presently employed as a correspondent for the Extra television show. Furthermore, his net worth is reported to be $13 million. Things are looking up for him, as you can see. Number 6, the Walton family. Yes, they are one of the powerful families that are ruling the world. The Walmart found also completes the list. It's conceivable you weren't aware of the Walton family's wealth when it was initially formed. Sam and Bud Walton, who now have a combined net worth of $169.7 billion, founded Walmart in 1962 and Sam's Club in 1983, respectively, after finding the success of Walmart. Sam and Bud Walton have a combined net worth of $169.7 billion USD. The most current estimate for Walmart's yearly sales is a mind-boggling $500 billion. And that, my friends, is the world's greatest retail income in history. Consider the fact that the family's more senior members, such as Jim Walton, are die-hard Republicans to get an indication of how much power they wield. They are appealing to both main political parties. After all, during the 2008 election campaign, he gave $630,000 to Republicans and Republican groups. On the other side, younger Walton family members such as Christy Walton appear to wield authority in the other direction of her elders as a result of Chrissy's founding of the Lincoln Project, an anti-Trump Republic organization. This was owing to Chrissy's participation in the organization. Wow, let me guess, some of these families are quite familiar to you. They have indeed ruled the world in different ways. If you're attentive enough, you may have even gathered some insightful lessons from these people that you may want to apply to also get the power that you want. Hopefully, you will only apply the ones that are ethical, and that our beloved viewers concludes our video of the day. Thanks for staying with us until the end. Do you think this video is quite informative? Informative enough to share with a friend? Then please go ahead and do it. And I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye for now.